Tab Q, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the site plan for a proposed storage facility on the 1.45 acre real property generally located at Northeast 135th Street and Memorial Highway, and specifically identified with Miami-Dade County folio number 06-2230-000-0111. In accordance with Article 2, Division 7, Section 2-701, and Article 3, Division 2, Section 3-204 through Section 3-206, and Article 3, Division 3, Section 3-302 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. This is a quasi-judicial item at tab Q.
Presentation by staff.
I'm going to
Anyone?
It's quasi
You don't have the cards?
swear everyone in. The card should be in the back.
Okay.
Now, no cards?
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, if you're going to give a testimony today on this case, please rise and raise your right hand as I issued the oath. All right, Owen.
Thank you very much. Go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you. For the record again, Tanya Wilson with Community Planning and Development. This resolution is a request for site plan approval for a four-story, 124,368 square feet self-storage facility. Just to acclimate you, the location of the project, it's located on the southeast quadrant of Northeast 135th Street and Memorial Highway. The project itself is a total size of 1.45 acres. That's over 63,079 square feet in size. The property you may recognize is a part of that newly annexed area that was annexed into the city back in 2014. It's commercially zoned as C1 with a commercial land use. Just to give you a bit of detail on the project design itself, the building, as I mentioned, is proposed as a four-story structure. It's proposed as a LEED certified facility, and there's ground level activation on the street frontage because it is on a major corridor. It's located in District 3. I know the councilwoman herself, we've had briefings and
District
discussions
4.
on the project itself. It's District 3 on 135th Street. In terms of the amount of daily trips on that corridor, it's estimated at 206 cars, daily trips that you see along that Northeast 135th Street corridor. Site plan approval would be good for 18 months, so the applicant will have within 18 months in order to construct the structure. Looking at the economic impact, it's anticipated to generate up to 45 full-time jobs during construction, 6 full-time employees after construction. It's anticipated will have an adverse tax impact of $70,668 annually. Sales taxes generated $149,999. In terms of impact fees, we're looking at between $198,000 and $215,000 in impact fees. And that concludes staff's presentation. I know the applicant is here in the audience if the council has any specific questions at this time.
Let's open it to the public. Nobody? Oh, nobody's swearing.
Yeah.
Thank
I just have a question for the applicant, if I might.
Yes, good.
Hi, good evening. My name is Francisco Santana. I'm the project manager here on behalf of Kenneth Carson Architect, and we're here representing the client, which I believe couldn't attend the meeting, but.
Okay,
any
here's the
questions
question
I'll be
that
happy to-
maybe you can't answer then, Mr. Santana. Why did you choose this location?
Well, we actually didn't choose the location. It was chosen by the developer.
And
So
And the developer's not here this evening to
he's
talk
not,
about it.
he's not here this evening, but it's my understanding that his partner is a businessman in the city, And I think it's part of why they chose this particular location.
All right, I'll reserve that question for perhaps another meeting where this is discussed, and I can ask the developer that directly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Councilwoman,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Estimé, District 3. You don't have any question?
Can we table this since the developer's not here, and so we can ask?
No, we don't have to table it. If they're not here, they're not interested in answering your questions. You make decisions.
It's crazy. No questions.
Councilman District 4, close to District 3.
No, no questions.
You know, you gotta be on the mic.
No questions, they heard me.
I have a
Yes.
silly question for our planning director. On this study, why do we worry about bike racks? Other than somebody working there, you have a self-storage, people aren't gonna carry storage items on their bikes. I mean, it's just like,
So, in terms of the city's desire to
know.
be pedestrian oriented, it's still one of the features that's encouraged when you have lead points that you have to acquire. They're looking to be lead certified. Bike racks is one of the criteria needed in order to acquire those
how many
points.
bike racks are you requiring? I mean,
To bend the mattress.
it's a silly question, but I'm looking and I mean, bike racks, again, unless you're working there, you.
So the employees is a possibility, visitors, but the structure is there if someone does cycle to the site. If it's an employee, then the structure is there
Okay.
and can be utilized.
Just think that's kind of a silly bonus for having bike racks in a storage.
It's
Thank
there
you.
for
No
use
further
if needed.
questions.
Thank you very much,
Actually,
Madam.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question, please, yes?
To Tanya or
No,
to
to
the.
whoever's representing. When will you start, and when will you complete this project?
I think we're supposed to start, obviously as soon as we get the building permit, but the project is estimated to be built before the expiration date of the site plan approval, which is given, I think it's 18 months. So I think that we'll start construction ASAP as soon as we get the approval.
I don't understand what that means. When you said ASAP,
Okay,
what's the estimated time for your
Estimated
permit?
construction time is about between 12 to 14 months after obtaining the building permit.
Okay, and Mrs. Wilson, and they have 18 months to obtain that permit, correct?
Yes.
Or else? It expires. Okay. Okay.
Are you
That's all
done?
my question. That's all my question.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
I would need a motion to take a vote.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab Q. The motion was
Your
seconded.
motion is to approve it?
No, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Motion to approve.
okay.
The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Keys. Councilwoman Estimé Irvin, how do you vote?
No.
Councilman Desilme, how do you vote?
No,
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keys, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Biename, how do you vote?
No.
Motion made, and the item fails with a 3-2 vote.
Thank you very much, Citizen Forum. Now, thank you very much.
And here they come.
Jessica Austin, 1140 Northwest 125 Street in Sunkist Grove. The city appears to be concerned about the future concerning resiliency and water, sea level, et cetera, about investments by foreign people, foreign entities, and about the people who do construction. But where's the interest, I ask you, in our citizenry, especially our youth? There needs to be an establishment of some kind of program, training program, where all of these people who are making all of these plans and benefiting from these plans, supposedly for the city, are made to make an investment in a program where there's a youth training program where the youth can be trained, however, during the summer, if it could be a jobs program. We need to have something here for the youth. They are the future. And they are not in these plans. They're not. Please make a component part of an investment for our youth in training, whether it be education, skills, whatever, technology. And when I say youth, I'm talking about those who are able to work. I don't know what the age is here. Is it 18 the minimum? 16 through whatever, 24. And that they be a component part. And make an investment in our youth in North Miami. Let's do that. Thank you.
Good evening, mayor and council members. My name is Juancito Frencius. I'm on 12501 Northeast 5th Avenue, Suite C, North Miami, Florida, 33161. My interest in tonight is for 135th Street. I have a big concern regarding the third quote corridor between 135th Street. I think this highway is too vague. I would suggest that if you could bring some light to stop the traffic, because the next few months you may have a lot of accident, even though I'm not a traffic expert. But by watching how cars and even cars come across the third corridor, you could feel that something major could come up. As a resident in North Miami, and I would suggest that you guys take the opportunity of this lane that you reject the project for self-storage to build some houses, because I heard in your project, Mr. Mayor, you had a plan to build home for senior citizens in North Miami and for all the residents in North Miami. I believe we could take the opportunity to have a big project on this parcel of land. Thank you.
Good evening, Judy Brown, 1100 Northwest 128 Terrace, Sunkist Grove. I'm coming because I'm concerned about the lack of staff in maintaining parks. We've lost crews that maintain the grass, cutting of the grass. Now, we all live in South Florida, and the grass grows really, really fast. I have taken pictures, and I've forwarded them to my council person, so I'm here today to talk about this. And I've also talked with the head of parks, the Parks Department. I'm asking that if you can find funding somewhere, I know we're tight, but we really need to maintain. Pepper Park is our signature land. That's our signature landmark over in Sunkist Grove. The park is the center of our community. And right now, it is, they, like during the summer, they couldn't cut the grass for every 2 months. It got really tall. And so I'm just coming to ask that if you have any funding that you can squeeze or find, that you can sort of like hire additional crew or get these people back that can maintain the aesthetic and keep the grass cut, not only at Pepper, but all around the city with our parks. Because, it starts at the park. That's where it all starts. Thank you.
Bob Bichon, 13005 Coronado Terrace. 3 items. One, I want to commend the city on the Veterans Day celebration that they did. It was a wonderful tribute to our veterans, and it was a nice event by the city. Secondly, an item I have no particular interest in. I'm not sure I understand our zoning anymore. We had a site plan review a little while ago, and for a permitted use, and we voted it down. So if I'd spent my money to buy some land to do something, I think I'd be in a bit of a jam understanding what I should do next. And maybe this is almost a question, but when the consent agenda by definition is items that don't require review or discussion, and if you take something off the consent agenda and discuss it, I would think that should then be opened up to the public for public comment. The item that was taken off the consent agenda, I have no interest in. I don't know anything about it. But I just think if you're going to discuss it among yourselves, I think it's part of the Citizens' Bill of Rights to be able to discuss items you're going to vote on. Thank you.
William Pervitel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. First, I'd like to thank the members who seem to have made an effort to try to stop the blight of this storage that we seem to have. I know it's something that's very important these days to so many people, but we just do have an abundance of such structures and such facilities, and I don't think it's necessary from the people in our community. I think it's from the other communities that would not possibly allow that, and therefore they're using us, and it's nice to put a little bit of resistance on that. As we start to get better development and welcome better projects and such throughout our city, certainly that could then again be part of the agenda. I did attend Scott's resiliency and climate change session, and good to see so many people are turned out, and happy that that was presented, and that so many people are taking an interest. My takeaway from it is, not just from North Miami, but I think our entire society is not really taking it as realizing the urgency. And we have a lot of small gestures, and they're all fine, but I don't think they'll add up. And I think when you look at the phrase sort of, you don't want to miss the boat, it's almost like that. We're going down the path, and we can't really go too slow, and we can't really stop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and stuff, because if the boat misses, we may be in a rather disastrous situation. People across the planet are finding this out. When you look at the fires in California and elsewhere around the globe, I think if they had a little bit of foresight or the ability to do it, they would have hardened their structures for greater fire resistance, for clearing the brush and such. I think our community needs to somehow, without spending a great deal of money, do some studies on exactly where the first level of sea rise will be, the lowest areas. Outline that, mark it, and address that. Find all the areas that are flooding. Let's try to resolve that and fix it. Raise the roads, raise the drains, whatever it is in those areas. But I think we need to step this stuff in over the next so many decades before we're completely underwater. I hope we can do that. And as well as maybe some crazy things, but finding out really what is the price of bringing in fill to do the roads and such, to start to prepare this, because it's not something that will happen all of a sudden. One day happens 20 years from now, we need to completely lift the entire city. It's something that needs to be layered in if we're to have any chance of surviving this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Richard Anise, 13030 Northeast 10th Avenue. Once again, I'm perplexed. The last meeting I was here, manager talked about and showed a great plan about being a little bit more I don't know, permissive or speeding up things when projects want to come into our city. And as Bob said, you had a site plan procedure here. This wasn't a first request. There was no special exemptions. It's a C1 district. If you want to limit how many storage facilities you have in the city, then do that first. Take it out of the zoning. This is a legal zoning for us. Once again, this property adjacent to this, you guys didn't want to you turned down a Walmart years ago. Now you got a Pretty Laundry, a dollar store, a Wendy's drive-in, and next to it is going to be this storage facility after these people sue you because you didn't approve something at the site plan approval. I mean, they've gone through everything they needed to do. I don't know these people. I don't have anything to do with them. But this is just totally diametrically opposed to what you talked about last meeting about pushing projects through and getting them done. If you got too many beauty salons, and you got too many laundromats, and you got too many storage facilities, change your codes and don't allow them. But if it's allowed, it's a C1 district, there's no exemptions. What else do you want them to do? Are you gonna end up buying the guy's property and putting workforce housing there? I mean, you gotta change the zoning. Up to 4 years ago, this property was in the county. If it was built before we encompassed the property, you would have no question about, it would already have been there. So I don't understand your thinking, or I guess it's lack of thinking.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Yes.
Hello, I'm Veronica Guzman. I live at 540 Northwest 127th Street. And I have 3 concerns. It all has to do with safety. So my street is the last street. If you're going south, it's the last street that you have to turn on before you go into oncoming traffic that goes onto I-95. Everyone who turns on that street speeds down the street. So we have a concern. There have already been two vehicles damaged due to accidents. We have a concern. We wish to put if we can't do a traffic circle at the end of the street because of the FPL electrical grid, we would like a speed bump to force people to have to slow down. The neighbor on the corner who had his car hit would like signage putting a do not enter, like a bigger sign that says do not enter, because people actually pass it, stop at the stop sign, pass, and go into oncoming traffic to turn on 126th Street.
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, last week we were in the area on Fifth Avenue with the transportation director. As a matter of fact, we are conducting a study to put a traffic circle on 129 and Fifth to lower the traffic. But I'm waiting on John O'Brien. Okay, that's me. We do, and I was there. Thank you very much. And now, we close public hearing. That's citizen forum. You can come, huh? You gotta come.
Yeah, sorry. As I said before, I'm here on behalf of Kenneth Carson Architect, representing the storage facility that the board just turned down. Obviously, you know, we have worked on this project for a little bit more than 6 months. And we have worked with the staff. We have tried to comply and accommodate every single requirement that came from the city staff as far as, like, you know, recommendations for the project to be improved. And I think we have done so. I heard already from the citizens that live in the district. I have seen no one objection on the project.
No, you don't live in the district.
No, I'm saying that I've been listening to the people that.
He don't live in. You say he lives in the district. He doesn't.
They don't live in the district?
No.
Okay, well,
He
citizens
live in
of
the
the
city,
community.
but he doesn't live in the district.
Okay.
And I'm pretty much sure if he was by his house, he will complain about it.
Okay, well.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that we haven't asked for any special exemptions, variances on the project. The height limitation, it's, you know, we're way below the height established by the zoning. And I haven't heard anything from, at least, you know, the city council to say, you know, what you object on the project. And what will be the process for coming back to you if that, you know, that's happened to be the case for an appeal.
Thank you very much, sir. And public hearing is now closed. And council reports. And can I make a quick comment I want to make? I just don't understand how come someone lives in the city for so long and they love the city so much, all they went to the city is storage, especially long-time resident of the city, who enjoying the water, and that's my comments on that thing. I'm not talking about the resident who spoke before. I'm talking about that's on the dice.
Okay.
That's Carol.
Okay, thank you. two announcements. I want to invite everybody to a cybersecurity presentation tomorrow night at the Griffin Center, 6:30 to 8:30. Our IT department and management hired Salvent Technologies to do a complete cybersecurity study for our city. All employees were required to take online courses. For those of you who don't know, there were presentations here that all employees had to take. The presentation was fantastic. If they didn't take it, they weren't allowed to even get on our servers. But it's informative, it's entertaining. I thought it was just really important. I took it back to my office, to my personal, about getting hacked, about phone calls, getting fish smished, all this stuff. How to tell if something comes to you on your computer and it's suspect. So I thought it'd be nice or really important for our residents to see the same presentation. We've paid for it. I'm paying a little more just for the presentation. But please, you won't be sorry if you attend. You will absolutely take something away from it. So that's tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8:30. I want to share that with the residents. It's not just for my district. Next week.
Address. You
what?
didn't give the address.
Griffin Center?
Yeah, that's good.
People,
Yeah, that's
people don't
Griffin.
know where Griffin Center is, so.
No, I said you didn't give the address.
Griffin Center, it's on Dixie, and it's in the Griffin Center. We get that. Also, next Tuesday night, November 19th, I'm having a town hall meeting at the Griffin Center again, 6:30 to 8:30, co-hosting using our time from our Iron Manners and Central Homeowners Association. Also, Alhambra Heights Homeowners Association is hosting that with me. And main topics will be code enforcement. We're going to continue having more presentation, more discussion on the resilient NOMI we heard this evening. Something important is we have a new ordinance on parking your boats, trailers, and RVs, and we will have a little presentation. So now we can explain to our residents what you can and cannot do with these parking of the boats and trailers, and how you can get variances to make those legal. So town hall meeting next Tuesday night during the Iron Manners and Alhambra Heights Homeowners Association. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Scott. You didn't say you called. Tell everyone that you called.
Oh, no. I'm okay, because then they'll turn the AC off and we'll be like this.
Right.
Councilwoman Estime,
Thank you.
you have 30 minutes.
Oh,
for
great.
your reports.
Yeah, so I'd like to first of all take out the time to thank all staff, all employees, all volunteer, all resident that participated in the Florida City Government Week. I'd also like to take out the time to thank our sponsors, the North Miami Chamber of Commerce, the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce of Florida. I mentioned North Miami employees, in particular Karen Federic. She actually came out and picked up garbage with us. I want to really give you a shout out. To the North Miami Police,
What's
our
your name?
beautiful chief, Jariga, and Hope. So I'd like to thank all of you. Again, also, as you realized during our consented agenda that we have a resolution for a couple of awareness for this month, for diabetes, for epilepsy, and one of them is also for the National Adoption Month. So on the 26th, we'll be having an exhibition out here in the lobby area. And the exhibition is going to be called Face of Adoption, and you'll have some information just to give awareness on the possibility of you adopting a child, and we'll provide more information in the next council meeting. So again, there'll be an exposition in the lobby area between 5 and 7 right before council meeting. So I hope you all attend, and that's all I have to say.
Councilman Dixon May.
Yes, sir. Mr. Manager, I have a couple of questions regarding Ms. Brown's claim, which you and we had some discussions of that, but I am concerned about Pepper Park. I sent, an email was sent on my behalf a week ago, last week, regarding the shelter thing. I walked in the evenings and well, I guess the concern is not only there, but mainly there. So what is going on, and how do we remedy that situation? Is it a problem of staffing? There is a lack of program, which I am very upset about, and I have been over a year, but I haven't really been, upset about it. But it's not looking good.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
So with regards to the crews, we've had some issues with some folks on light duty, as well as some of the cutbacks we made. We are I'm working with the Parks Director. In fact, we met for a few hours last week to address that concern. So if you give me to the end of this week, I'll roll out an email to you that addresses how we're going to
And
go
also
forward.
the cover.
The cover, yes.
Because it's bad. And also the traffic circle. I know we talked about that. I know Public
Staff
Works
has been out. They've looked at all of them, and we will be addressing the.
If you guys could, at least I want to see the pictures. We just want it to look
Better.
pretty and
Yes,
nice,
yes.
not crazy. And then Cecil Pool update.
It is.
If we, what's the final word?
It is nearly done. Matter of fact, our project manager sent some photos today.
Okay.
So we're days away from completion.
Okay, thank you. That's basically it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. And I have a couple questions for Arthur Soe, since you're the one in charge of that, what do you call it? The garden, the red garden, right?
Yeah, he's in charge. It's the red.
And are you putting a plan together with, after consulting with mayor and council on how it's gonna look like before we?
We'll be working, we'll continue to work, once we get the site work started, we will be meeting with council to go over the aesthetics and some of the particulars of how it will look and feel.
Okay.
For the site.
Right now, you're gonna start with the cleanup.
Yes, the cleanup is gonna start immediately, yes, sir.
What about the statues over there? We own it?
We don't own the statues. The big statues are gonna be cleaned and restored and will become part of the artwork on the site. Some of the smaller statues we will use, and all of the statue work is, we're working with MoCA and the museum to beautify the statues. Some of the smaller ones will be used
That's when
on
we
the
own
site.
it then.
Huh?
We own.
The agreement we have, we are required to store them. We can't get rid of them. So we can use them on the site as part of the agreement, but we can't get rid of them.
What about if it gets stolen?
If they get what?
Stolen.
We've been out there.
We're gonna
you
hope
can't
that doesn't
steal
happen.
those statues.
I didn't know that was a part of the agreement.
Yes, it was.
You know, since people know it's owned by the city, now you won't have one by tomorrow.
Well, we don't own it. We lease it.
Eh?
We don't own it. We lease it.
You lease it.
Yeah.
But how come you take responsibility for the?
That was part of the
what
settlement.
about if someone stole one of them and they say it costs $1 million?
The property's insured, sir.
Oh.
And
Those
Oh.
statues are so heavy.
They
to
weigh
lift,
so
too.
much, sir.
And they've been there since I was a little boy. They ain't going anywhere.
Okay.
You can't pick
Okay,
them up.
it's okay. I just would like to have the plan, the aesthetic and.
Yeah, I agree. Because my only little concern is the incubator. I'm a little concerned about that component, but
The truck,
I
I don't see.
well,
we
waiting
need a
to see.
nice one,
Yeah.
like with
what I
the
said.
art, with mural, thing like that. Very nice, like Winwood. We don't want just something. I don't want
I don't
you
like
to
mural.
do something because you're gonna tell me 7 Northwest.
Okay.
You said like
Yeah,
Winwood,
and
said
then-
he doesn't like Winwood.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Something
It's
nice.
your district,
Something
but
nice and
we-
look good.
We want something nice over there.
We
like
will. There will-
anybody can use it for big events. Like we're talking about the Super Bowl weekend. That's when it can be a destination on I-95 about those 3 days, Super Bowl, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and take advantage of those. And most
Make it look
likely,
good.
we need it to be a rental property. It's not something for us to do events, but to be rented out and to events. And
Yes, sir, it will be.
and
an
I
event
think
space, sir.
the chief of police got to go over there. We got to making sure when it comes to safety, people drive by in a car and
We
kill
have
people on
already,
site. All those things need to be taken in consideration
The,
before.
the police have
before
already done the traffic and the outlay. They've been there at the site with us.
safety and
Everybody's been on the
everything,
site. Public Works Police.
Okay.
Everybody's been on the site. To
My
look at all of
only
But we
the
need a
concern-
nice thing.
That's what I told him.
We
need-
want a nice thing. We don't want just, you're not gonna tell me because it's 7th Avenue Northwest, you're just gonna twist
Oh, no, they
something
better
out.
not. Miss Austin and Miss Brown and I will be over there fighting. He better
Okay.
not. They
That's
don't
when
do
we
that.
need a nice
We
place.
answered that question when you said that I was in charge of it, sir.
Because on the
Please.
82nd, I went to a
Oh, please.
rooftop.
Oh, Lord, that's more concerning.
Okay.
It will be really nice, sir.
The only concern, Mr. Mayor, is, and I shared it with Arthur, I don't know if we get a big, the parking. We got to address that. If you have something with all these people.
The parking will be on site. We've already identified a minimum of 160 parking spaces.
What?
But you can do street parking since it's a commercial.
Oh, okay.
Just those 2 streets and in the back. But we need something for when you're driving by on
Yeah, he said
I-95.
he
You
gonna
should
do
be
that.
able to
To
see
see.
there to see.
We will make sure there's a North Miami landmark from 95 that you
Yeah,
will see
we'll see it.
on both sides passing by, sir.
We want to make sure after downtown with the second destination for Super Bowl with the Dolphin.
All right, now.
You never know. 97
That's
qualifying
concluded.
for the playoff.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. It's for you. The floor is yours.
All right. The Miami-Dade Commission on Ethics and Public Trust is holding a clean campaign class on November 20th, which is next Wednesday, at the Surfside Commission chambers on the 2nd floor. Candidates, campaign workers, and politically active citizens involved in local elections are encouraged to attend the Clean Campaign class sponsored by the Miami-Dade Commission on Ethics and Public Trust and the Miami-Dade County Department of Elections on Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. The 2-hour seminar from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. will feature representatives from the Ethics Commission and the Elections Department who will provide essential information to avoid legal pitfalls, correctly raise and report funds, properly keep records, and understand the legal and ethical obligations of seeking public office. The class is free and open to the public. And that is all for this evening.
You're set, Madam Clerk? You finished? You're not gonna do any board appointments? No? Thank you.
The city manager and I are in discussions and working with city staff who serve as the liaisons to the different boards to
Okay.
conduct an assessment as to their viability and to see how we will be moving forward. So I believe that you'll be briefed once we have results from those assessments. I believe each of you will be briefed on these specific boards and also reminded as to which ones we still need to make appointments.
Okay. As far as the Board of Adjustment, the Planning Commission, do we have quorum to move forward those important boards?
Yes.
Anything like that? Okay.
I believe the only other one was the library board that they don't have quorum, and so if anybody
The
has any
education.
that,
I actually have someone that I can appoint.
You need an application.
The person hasn't done an
Okay,
application
go
already. It's Rose, I forget.
Which one?
I thought we were about to adjourn.
We're going to
Yeah,
adjourn.
yes,
It's
yes, I'm so sorry.
But we'll do it
Board
next
member.
week.
No, let me do this now so that they can have, a
Okay.
board, it's Rose.
they still wouldn't have quorum, just for the record.
They have quorum.
They still would not have quorum, even if I appoint someone now? Is that what you're saying?
That's my understanding.
Yes, okay. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Yes, yes. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Very quickly, I want to publicly acknowledge 2 employees. Shauna Sheldon, our MOCA director, and Natasha Colebrook Williams. After
Natasha didn't do nothing.
a 2+ year process, I'd like to formally announce, or at least publicly announce, the city got its museum accreditation back. I know the process got started with Natasha, and of course, Shauna carried the ball over the finish line for us. The staff, I want to thank all the staff at MOCA, the supportive staff, because I know Public Works, and we've had physical facility issues, and a lot of things had to come together. And I also need to acknowledge each of you. One of the biggest statements that the accrediting association said was the reason why they did it was the commitment, the financial commitment, and the commitment that you all showed to the museum. So you all are to be thanked for ensuring that this happened. There's another announcement I'd like to make, but I can't make it till February.
No, you cannot.
So
you see the chief is looking at you.
But something else great is coming. So with that, thank you.
Thank you very much. At the same time, talking about the museum, did I see a plan about renovation of the courtyard, something like that?
Yes, we are. It's the rear courtyard. We've been working on that. That's a CRA project.
Okay, okay.
So it is
You're
coming
working
forward.
on
Yeah.
okay, that's mean
Yeah,
the
it's gonna-
plan is
it's
done.
designed
I would
similar
like
to the
to
Get
have
an
a
update?
say about it.
Okay, alrighty.
Especially when what we're gonna do with the top. Okay, thank you very much. City Attorney, do you have any reports?
No report, sir. Move to
Thank-
adjourn.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.